This is how we do it on audio commentary. Yes, that's right. It's another audio commentary that you found with Stryker of Enyo. But I swear, this is the last one. Well, no, I can't do that because I probably eventually at some point in my life will make another audio commentary. But I swear it's going to be the last one on these really, really early Metal Gear Solid 5 videos until I make another one, and then I do an audio commentary on that. But yes, I am going to cover some of the problems that came up during editing, including the loud audio at one point and why it didn't get fixed. I'll cover the writing process, the editing process, the changes I made even after finalizing the video the first 2 times, and I will cover how long each step took, roughly, and also the popularity of the video itself, and maybe a little bit of a hint on what's going to happen with the top 20 pro tips. What? Stryker? Is that really happening? Yes, it's, but hey, let's start the video because you know about Upload Studio and you know it sucks. The big one. I was going to say another word, but I forgot. I try not to swear or use derogatory terms. No, it wasn't going to be the N word, but I mean, I try not to use language like that in an audio commentary. So hey, let's start the video and see where things take us.
You found Stryker of Enyo. This
the iconic opening. So iconic, I was almost going to use it for the next video, and then I realized it's like, no, the whoa. I wanted that to be iconic for just one of my videos. I didn't want it to be the start of all of them, or else you would never know which one you are watching. That actually is a screenshot of the real time that Games with Gold featured Metal Gear Solid 5. So it was free for that entire month. I don't believe they have done it again since. I think they've only done it that one time. But yes, that is something I just come up with. I came up with that just kind of off the top of my head. Like, why is mine different? Now, there's the original picture for the top 10 beginner tips. I never had to remake it because I basically got rid of it. Yep, there you go. 256 hours. You know, much better than the 88 hours you saw me in the previous video. That is true. You can only carry about 1.1 million, and then you will not, you won't get any more resources after that. Did I say 50 hours? Even though I clearly show that I was basically on the cusp of doing 60 hours on PlayStation 4. Did I really only say 50 hours? But anyway, I really can't believe I didn't already release an audio commentary for this video. I did for the top 20 advanced tips. I'm not sure if I said the real history of what I was going to do. I don't think I did. So my big idea was to release this audio commentary for this video, the top 20 beginner tips Ultimate Edition. And at the beginning of this audio commentary, I was going to hint at the fact that I was going to make a follow-up video, which was going to become the top 20 advanced tips Ultimate Edition. And this is after, you know, people have been waiting on this video for, well, I mean, it had been over a year, right? And I was basically going to say, like, hey, this is the top 20 beginner tips Ultimate Edition audio commentary. Oh, and by the way, in a week, the brand new top 20 advanced tips Ultimate Edition is going to release. So that was my whole idea. And I wasn't going to tell you until the end of the commentary. And I thought, well, dear Lord, no one is going to watch the hour-long audio commentary. And then I thought, well, I should maybe hint at it in that opening 1 minute, right? And then I realized they're just going to skip toward the end, you idiot. So I realized that was stupid. Just tell them up front. And that's when I decided, why have an hour-long commentary to introduce this big follow-up video that, you know, took me, I think it was a month and a half of editing. You know, 2 hours and 40 minutes long? Or no. It was 2 hours 20 altogether, you know, with the added enemy preparedness. Then it would be 2 hours and 40 minutes. But that's right. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes. And but I had it all done. It was literally the whole thing was done and rendered, and so I just decided to make a short trailer that told you the same thing. So I did that. So that was the idea. And then when it came time to actually do the audio commentary for the top 20 advanced tips Ultimate Edition, I just basically took a few ideas from this audio commentary and I threw them in there instead. So there might be a few things. But you know what? The music already sets this thing apart, right? From the previous thing. This came out in 2018. So by this time, I am not using the XO1 headset. I am using the what did I say before? Samsung or Samson? I think it's a Samson condenser microphone, but it's only like a 40 or 50 US dollar microphone. It is not a expensive microphone. It might have been $80 at the time when you buy it, or when someone would buy it. Not somebody. Brand new. It probably was, probably $100 microphone at the time. It was still a USB microphone. But yeah, you can easily get it for around $40 now. And now, what is this? Advanced tips. Did I use and during the advanced tips, I must have also used the Samsung. I think it's all in the video processing. At this point, I don't think you can tell the hollowness to the sound. There I am grinding on top of the body. I would do that later. Didn't I teabag somebody? I used footage of Metal Gear Solid 2, I believe, and I teabagged somebody while on the frigate. I remember doing that really fast in the top 20 advanced tips. Sometimes I would do a little visual gag like that, me teabagging somebody or grinding on top of them, and I couldn't acknowledge what I'm doing necessarily because I needed to get through the material, so I would just do something like that in the background. But yeah, these primary starting goals, obviously they are here because when I make a list like this, like I am making for the top 20 pro tips at the moment, I basically start out with trying to make a top 20 tips, and I would end up having a few that would end up, I would type them out and they would be there, but then I would end up coming up with some additional stuff. And so essentially these tips that you see here that I have labeled your primary starting goals, they almost were originally included to be an advanced tip, but I shouldn't have to tell you to get the dog because quite honestly, the dog should almost be automatic. Although some people, there have been a very, very small handful of people that have said that they didn't know there was a dog or they didn't know where the dog was. I would try to tell them, hey, just Google it. Like don't listen to some guy on YouTube. It's like just Google it. But it's like I thought it was pretty. There's like two specific places that they show up. As you can see, I have gone through apparently now that I noticed my top 10 beginner tips video, and I'm basically reiterating that. Like those were the things that, that's what this is, you dumb idiot. I basically am redoing, my top 10 beginner tips. So I'm throwing all the stuff that, is important, like getting plants. Getting plants are important, and yes, it is a beginner tip, but, in my due diligence, I came up with 20 other tips that really should be, they're more important than Fultoning everything and rescuing prisoners and grabbing your daily rewards. But I knew that I needed to at least tell you that, you need to do all those things, right? Because grabbing the daily rewards is important. That's the thing that basically gets you where you can buy your first and second FOB without having to spend any real-world money. I never had to spend any real-world money on Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's because I was doing the daily rewards, signing in and getting those MB coins. And yes, the second FOB is going to be more expensive than the first one. What is that? Like 500, 600? That's really not that bad. And that won't take you very long. Because I think you get I forgot what I said. I think it's like per week you can get like 50 MB coins? Or is it 70? I can't remember. You know, it's going to take you several weeks, but you know what? After a few months, you'll be able to get it.
It's important that you get an interpreter as soon as possible. Otherwise, you will not know what.
You know, kind of like extracting the interpreter.
There won't be any subtitles to help you.
The interpreter is kind of a thing that is almost automatic. The game shows you, but I still left it in there because I had this footage, and I had the footage of, you know, basically the guy mentioning that, hey, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know English. And for the most part, you know, that was my reasoning. That's right. Because, yeah, basically the game does point you at, hey, here's a spot. There's two guys here. You have a tranquilizer pistol. Knock them out and Fulton them so that you can understand Russian. I believe it's Russian. I think so.
Number 19, focus on upgrading your equipment.
So I spent, do I have any timetables on this crap? On this crap. I talked about that. I had a number of topics already typed out for this commentary, but yeah, I used a lot of this info on the top 20 Advanced Tips Ultimate Edition commentary. You know, I mean, I had 2 hours and 40 minutes to fill on that audio commentary, and I think I went a little long because I had to talk about, you know, Upload Studio. So a lot of these topics I ended up throwing in that one. You know, I may give you a few examples on stuff that I did in the top 20 Advanced Tips Ultimate Edition video, but I'm going to try to stay on task with the stuff related to just this particular video.
Seriously, you only get 12 to start with before you need a supply drop, and you're going to need more as soon as possible. And the silenced pistol is important.
Silenced pistol, okay. Oh, I'm going through, yeah, you got to upgrade your equipment. You know, that's one of the things, like, you know, just when I was, some of this stuff, normally a regular player wouldn't think of because I basically, as I had said before, my original Xbox One died, so I was waiting to get an Xbox One X delivered to me through the mail. So, and it just happened to be around that time that PlayStation Plus had their free version of Metal Gear Solid 5, or I think I had gotten it at the time. No, my PS Plus would have had to been current for me to actually play it. So regardless of when it did or didn't come out, you'll notice that I actually made that vehicle stop by shooting the ground. You know, just by shooting the vehicle itself or firing off a shot, I made it stop so that I could Fulton it. I didn't know if people necessarily caught up on that or noticed it, because I think I was using a silenced weapon. And I think I turned down the audio on the video in the background. But like, yeah, like all the unlocking cargo too. It's like, for the most part, you know, most people wouldn't think about this because once you do it in the game, you don't think about it. But it's like, well, for a beginner, it's like I knew about this stuff because I had started a new game on my PlayStation 4. So it's like, that's how I got footage for all of this stuff. And, you know, I was able to actually see, like, how things progressed and how, you know, certain things for your mother base would slowly get unlocked as you were going through the missions. Because, like, you forget about that. You forget about a lot of that stuff because actually a lot of stuff is being unlocked automatically as you are doing, you know, each mission. You know, because, I mean, well, D-Dog, you have to, obviously you have to find the little puppy, and then you got to wait so many days before he becomes available. So, like, you're not even going to have D-Dog available for the first... I'm sure you have it by the time you get to Quiet. But, like, at least for the first 6 or 7 missions, you're not going to have, you know, the dog. This is mission 8.
We don't need to worry about the dog finding enemies or whatnot. You also want to bring some decoys with you.
I'm listening to my audio. Where is it? Where did I mention it? Did I mention this before?
Since this might be your first time doing
So this was like a 45 hours of editing alone, really?
But it's going to take you a little bit of time to get the timing down and whatnot.
What am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of, I'm sorry.
So we are in free roam at the moment. So now.
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that word that went missing right there? Well, we'll talk about that. Hang on.
Then you're going to go to the marker. You see that?
But yeah, have you when you listen to this video? Sorry, my words are escaping me. Have you ever noticed that the audio drops certain words? That is due to the fact of how I did audio for this. Now, this is not being done on Upload Studio. This is all done with clips recorded from the game DVRs of either the Xbox or the PlayStation 4. And all audio is being recorded by a separate microphone. But the thing that I did for this video, hang on, I got to look at the time. Okay. But yeah, so I recorded audio into Premiere Pro directly. That's right. I had a microphone plugged in, and there was an option where you could actually add audio comment, or you could add commentary to the video while it's playing on the playback, in Premiere Pro. So that is what I did, and that is why the audio sounds like garbage, because ultimately that means I did not normalize, or I did not compress the video whatsoever. There basically is nothing done to the audio, except I did actually, or how was it done? Hang on, I wrote this stuff down. I did add some effects to each of the segments of audio to make it sound better. Because you can do that, you can actually, you can record audio into Premiere Pro, and it shows up, inside of the bar itself. And I would do that for each individual, because I didn't record 1 hour-long minute thing. Like, I would record audio for like each thing. So any kind of processing I did to the audio, I had to do on every single clip, which is very time-consuming. But the thing is that when you add effects to audio in Premiere Pro, it's going to bog down the program quite severely, because Adobe Premiere is trying to add all of those audio effects in real time to your playback. So it's going to be very resource intensive. And so it's going to force your computer to do all these calculations to the audio in real time. And that was just too much. After about 40 minutes of this video that you see here, I was getting to the point where the playback was becoming unplayable. Or, it was becoming unwatchable. Audio was unsynced. The frame rate was downright garbage. It wasn't running smoothly. It was really hard to time what I was trying to say. And, so that's why this video is actually only an hour long, is because I really, for the last 15 minutes or so, it was basically, I was almost unwatchable in the playback bar. I could only watch like 30 seconds maybe at a time, or maybe a minute, before it would get all garbled. Or not necessarily garbled, but just to the point where the frame rate would dip. I could hear the audio fine, but like whatever was happening on screen, it was totally mismatched. So yeah, it was unwatchable in its final form. Now, when you render out the video, everything works fine. But yeah, I was completely bogging down the program by trying to do all the audio effects in it. So yes, even though I'm using the same microphone, in fact, that I used for my recording for the top 20, there is a huge difference in the audio quality. And, that's the other thing, is the post-processing that you do to your microphone. That's going to be a big game changer as well, when you kind of learn to do that. But yes, the audio for the top 20 advanced tips, it's totally on par with what you would kind of hear in a lot of other YouTube videos, well, more professional YouTube videos, around 5 years before it, right? But I had to look for that clip from Splinter Cell. I remember looking like, please, dear Lord, I don't have any way to record, at least at that time, I didn't have any way to record Fisher whistling in the original Splinter Cell, so I needed to find a clip and I was able to do that. And I think I did it so quickly that I didn't even give the guy credit from whatever.
Cool. Did I do that?
Yeah, of course. This is obviously, you know, I've been playing Metal Gear Solid for over 230 some hours. I know about the dog attacks. I tried to make it, you know, seem like it all of a sudden just happened. You know, after playing for 200 hours, I hit a button, and I didn't know that the dog would actually do that. And it's like, no, that's a lie. I tried to refrain from doing that, you know, having like my actual live, response. And it's like, I'm making a tip video. You know, if it was a Let's Play, that's one thing. Oh, yeah, you know what? This C4, I'm not a fan of it. The C4 energy drink. I told you before that I had the Starburst flavor, strawberry. It's not bad. But you know, it's a zero sugar energy drink, but it is in no way superior to Rain or what's the other Bang? Like Rain and Bang are both zero sugar energy drinks, and I like them better. And yes, I will acknowledge that yes, you know, Monster does have their own version of zero sugar, of course. I would imagine Red Bull does as well. You know, so a lot of the, you know, the ones that are known for having a lot of sugar, they have a no sugar version. I don't know about calories, but obviously they all have caffeine. That's the one thing that you want from an energy drink is the caffeine. But so yeah, I did actually get a couple of those. I might do those during another audio commentary. Return to Mother Base. Yeah, because I kept on. This is all really good stuff, you know, quite honestly. Like, you know, this is a video I'm pretty proud of content-wise because I really did completely start over from scratch. You know, nobody else, I don't think, was really willing to do that. You know, they want to make a video on the best tips for beginners, but I actually restarted the entire game over. Granted, that's because my original console was dead. And I was waiting for a completely new one. But, you know, yeah, it's like, you know, you only get these, or all, I might have to, no. I think I literally cut away. I knew I was going to get flagged from effing Konami if I left the image of the little puppy stay there for too much longer. So I made sure to cut that out. You know, me getting mad. I mean, obviously, you know, you have to not only unlock the pink color or buy it. I forget. I probably got this unlocked during one of the events. But yeah, you have to select it. You know, it's not like it magically became pink one day. A Battle Chick is obviously what I called my PlayStation 4 version. Yeah. But yeah, that's why the I'm sorry. That's why the words would keep on popping out. So I changed how I do audio. You know, now when I record audio, I go into Audacity first, which is a free program. I alter the audio there. I clip things out that I don't need. What do you call it? I do all the stuff that you're supposed to. I process the audio correctly. You know, taking out any noise, compressing it, and finalizing it, or normalizing it, and then rendering it out. And then I take that, you know, that file, and I put that into Premiere Pro. And then now, you know, Premiere Pro doesn't need to do any processing of its own, you know, to my audio. It has already been processed. You know, all I need to do is adjust the audio levels. That's it. That's the only thing I need to do, and that is not, you know, processor intensive. You know, every once in a while, I might need to do something to a piece of audio in order to make it, you know, more workable, or to make it, you know, maybe there's some popping in the background that I completely missed all the time before. I don't know. So, you know, there's very, very few times that I need to do any kind of audio manipulation or effects to any audio that I've recorded before. You know, it does happen, and, you know, you can do that kind of stuff in Premiere Pro, but you're, sorry, you're really better off not having to let Premiere Pro, you know, process anything extra than what needs to be done. So yeah, that's what I do with my audio, you know. And now on my PreSonus microphone, I actually have the compressor ability built into the microphone. So and what is the other thing I do? Well, there's a number of things that I have pre-built into it. So now instead of having to process my audio through 3 separate steps before I can actually, you know, finalize it and listen to it, you know, now all I got to do is adjust the normalization. That's it. Because I have the compressor already built into it, it comes out, you know, just the way I want, and I have already an equalizer setting. That's right. You know, now I actually do an equalizer setting to it. So this audio here has no equalizer setting applied to it at all. Or if I did, I had to add it on top, but man, it really doesn't sound like I added any kind of effect to it, right? But yeah, so that's a big learning curve, you know, like I said in the previous video. It takes a while to dial in your audio, you know, when you go back to some of your favorite YouTubers, you know, let's say, you know, back in 2012 or 2014, you know, their audio should be vastly different, you know, than what you're used to, you know, currently, right? And that's why it takes some time. It takes time to, you know, get decent microphones for everybody, to, you know, kind of figure out a good balance, or to get, you know, someone that at some point in their life was an audio engineer and, you know, knows what they're looking for and can, you know, take out a lot of the hissing or the S's or, you know, the stuff that, you know, normally you couldn't hear. Tips for farming containers. See, this is all stuff that, you know, it was a world of good. I mean, it wasn't nice to have my Xbox One explode on me. I mean, it didn't explode. That'd be ridiculous. But I mean, you know, for the effect of this video, if you were to tell me like, okay, make the top 20 beginner tips video, and I basically just took my existing account and came up with some ideas, I would be missing like probably half of the stuff you hear me talk about. You know, I mean, you know, clearly being able to restart on PlayStation really did shape the way I designed this thing. And it helped me really to, I'm still not using first person. I refused. I thought, I don't need no stupid first person camera. You know, only blankety blanks use first person. And it's like, you know what? Switching to iron sights is really convenient, you know, plus, you know, when you zoom in, you actually zoom in to where, you know, Snake himself is standing, instead of having the camera that's behind his back, you know, kind of zoom in a little bit. So, you know, you actually zoom in closer to the enemy by going into first person. And like I've said, I think before, like, you know, you can set that up. You know, you can run around in third person just fine, and then whenever you aim down sights, it snaps to first person. Or whenever you need to aim, it automatically snaps, you know. But it's like, yeah, you can easily get better and longer headshots. Longer. I'm sorry. The Beavis and Butthead, they just had a movie come out on Paramount Plus. You know, I'm kind of in that mode of immaturity, of, you know, of their kind of humor. So sorry about that. But yes, I did say longer. But yeah, I really wanted to hit home, you know, this the fact that, you know, when you grab those shipping containers when you're not supposed to, you're only going to get 75, you know, units instead of 7,500. Dropping a tank. Yes, I still get messages today, years later, on Stryker. Why do you drop a tank? And to be fair, I believe the first time I say it, I don't actually explain it, but the next time you see it, I believe I do actually say that you can sell them. Like, I don't think I necessarily say it word for word here, but yeah, it's been a long-standing technique of you put the tank in your way. You know, that it was a thing that, you know, that people have been talking about on the message boards and whatever. It was a long-standing technique of Put it in your way.
So now we just run into the
Yeah, I only say it's easy to get to, don't I? I think the next time you see me talk about it, though, I do mention selling them, you know, for a profit. But yeah, it was a way of getting extra, you know, extra tanks. You know, and then like at the early stages of the game, you know, it's an extra 100,000 GMP for everyone you grab. So, you know, if you're farming for an hour, that's easily, you know, that's easily farming an extra 8 or even 10 tanks, right? Because you should be able to do more than 10, or you should be able to farm more than 10 times in an hour, right? You would think, but I mean, yeah. So it's like, you know, that's an extra 800 or, you know, a million GMP. You know, if you turn them all in. I think I've said before that the whole spacing for the mission 18, you know, blood runs deep, all those things are dependent upon where the autosave pops up. That's why they are so low down on the frame. And I believe when it came to I wasn't as aware of it, but when it came to the top 20 advanced tips, I was a lot more aware of the fact that a huge audience of people on YouTube actually watch the videos through their phones. So, see, there's the checkpoint. So all these things sitting around, you know, on the top part of the whole reason why they're so low down is because I wanted you to see the auto save, you know, pop up on screen, of course. So that's why they had to be so low down. But yes, when it came to the top 20 advanced tips, I actually made these images a little bit bigger because I realized that, you know, lots of people are going to be watching this on their phone. So I tried to make it, I kind of thought, I mean, seriously, it gets a little ridiculous when I have so many things on screen at one time, but it's like, well, you're looking at it on a phone. What I'm doing in the background is not important. It's the fact that you know what step we're on, like step A or B, and what mission we're in and which, you know, version we're doing. So yeah, you know, a lot of the screen gets covered up. I mentioned the tank. Okay, I know at some point.
Actually commented or sent me an email on, but Stryker, what if I hit restart mission? Is that the same?
And you know, I still have people today, you know, that like, well, what if I hit restart, or why can't I just hit restart? You know, and it's, you know, like this is why, no offense to the people that don't necessarily get this kind of stuff right away, but you know, it's only like less than 1%. You know, when you're talking about 400, what is this one? This is the redo. So this is 200,000. You know, out of 210 some thousand people that have watched this, you know, not assuming that everyone watches the entire video, of course, but it's like, it's a very small percentage of the people that actually ask me about the tank thing, you know, because, well, maybe I explain it later, but by the time that they actually type out their message, you know, to be fair, you know, I don't expect everybody to remember, you know, all the farming techniques that have ever been done on this game. You know, you can't expect them to know that, but it's like, yeah, I if I just would have, you know, typed it out, you know, that's why I tried to make sure, you know, I explain something in complete detail, because if I miss it, then I still get questions about that stupid effing tank all these years later. And I'm still very nice. I still answer every single person that does, you know, because, you know, they're not sure, you know, they didn't know, but like I said, it's a very small percentage of the kind of people that, you know, ask you. And sometimes when I get that very, very rare gamer that asks me a stupid question, I know, Stryker, there are no stupid questions, only stupid people. And you're right, when a stupid person asks a stupid question, or when a stupid person asks a question, 9 times out of 10, it is stupid. But sometimes there are some people that ask a question that is so dumb, I just don't respond to it. And, you know, sometimes I'm sorry, and sometimes I actually will still respond to them a few days later, but, you know, sometimes I just roll my eyes or I shake my head, You know, and it's like, you know, I can't do this today. I do get some dumb questions, and it's like, that's, you know, that's kind of why I don't like doing strategy videos as much. Because no matter what I talk about, no matter how much detail, you know, I put into it, I'm always going to be getting questions from people that are just checking. I still get questions on people mentioning the, when I talk about, what is it? Oh, shoot. I forgot. Getting the jetpack, or the, yeah, in, Just Cause, is it 3? Because there's essentially a jetpack that you can get, and I basically start the video with, you know, it has to be said, or something along that lines, that, you know, you need the DLC in order to get the jetpack. And believe it or not, even after all these years, you know, 4 years later, I still had a couple of people mention, well, do I really need to buy the DLC, or can I still get the jetpack? They're in there. I can't remember if I actually responded to those people or not. But it's like, you know what? You're going to get stuff like that. I don't mind if people, you know, mention, like, you know, if I'm doing other videos that are more humorous, that, you know, I don't like your views on this, or, you know, I didn't think that that was funny. It's like, that's fine. But, you know, the constant, you know, people that miss certain things, you know, it can get to you after a while. I'd rather just make humorous videos, like, you know, my How the F Did I Die series, or my Rage Quit, you know, videos. It's like, I just, you know, watch that stuff, enjoy them, laugh at them, and then I'll make some more. You know, they're not meant to be 100% correct. You know, it's not, you know, even my Rage Quit, like, you know, I'm purposely making myself get angry at certain things. You know, or I'm, you know, it's not like those things really make me that mad, but, you know. Wow, we're just at number 10. This is a long freaking video. Oh, yeah. What is this? This is, oh, I'm still drinking the C4. Yeah, this energy drink just is not anything spectacular. I have not tried the Skittles version of the C4 energy drink yet. I have that next. You know, sometimes when you need to have a lot of energy, you really just should get the sugar version. I mean, seriously, if I wasn't, you know, trying to, like, lose some weight, I probably wouldn't be so concerned about having the zero sugar energy drink. And, you know, if you're in your 20s, who cares? I mean, seriously, don't listen to anyone that tells you that, you know, you need to have zero sugar. You know, number one, you should do it because you want to get healthier yourself, or you should do it because you're in your 30s or you're approaching your 40s, and, you know, you really don't need all that extra sugar anymore. You know, you can still get your caffeine, but yeah, you know, I just learned that I don't work good on constant sugar. I don't need you know, 3 or 4 sodas a day. I used to, you know, that used to not be a thing, but it's like, no, after a while, that's a lot of calories you got to realize. You know, and it's also a lot of sugar, you know, when you consider, I think, like one 20-ounce bottle is like 100% of the sugar you should have for the day. So, you know, when you're having like 3 of them, you know, you're getting like 3 times the amount of sugar you should really have. What am I looking at? Okay, I'm just looking at the video itself. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk about energy drinks again. I've been trying some different ones. NOS is kind of okay. I apologize for talking about energy drinks, and then I go right into talking about them. Well, I knew I was going to be doing some audio commentaries. It's like, it wouldn't be Stryker if I didn't talk about, you know, about the different ones. But yeah, so far I like Rain. Rain's okay. REIGN, I believe. It's not RAI. It's not like raindrops from the sky. It's a different kind of rain. But Bang is still really good. Even the non-sugar ones, I really like those. I usually like the ones that are carbonated, though. I like to have them have a little bit of a kick. I've tried, you know, the fruit juice ones. You know, the ones that are just like flat. I just don't like them as much. They don't feel special to me. If that makes any sense. But Red Bull, I don't like Red Bull mostly because the fact that I think it's at a higher price point than anything else. But then again, energy drinks in general are pretty expensive, right? I've already talked about adding humor to my strategy videos before. I don't necessarily need to mention that. You know, adding humor to a strategy video. You know, it's this. We're not talking about, you know, the late 2010s anymore. Other people have done that just fine. Did I show this clip of me throwing grenades? Did I use that? I might have used it during the beginning. It is real nice not having to use Upload Studio. Like I said, the audio is the only thing that really hampers this, and that's because I did not do any post-processing to the audio. You know, I recorded it right inside. I think the audio did another one of those skips I was telling you about. That is why it was skipping, is because, you know, there's so much of the processing. It was trying to do so much of the processing live, basically, that it ends up missing a word, and it's like I can't do anything to that. I can't do anything to help that. It automatically does that, you know, as it's rendering out the video file. So like if I were to render out the video file again, it might not skip on that exact moment. In fact, the chances are it won't skip the exact same time twice, but it will skip somewhere else. So that was really disconcerting too. I was like, man, why is it skipping around so much? And I was basically, you know, adding too much to it. I'm sorry, I'm moving my microphone a little bit. I am literally having to hold it by hand, but I got it nestled pretty good. Hopefully you're not getting any vibration off of it. I do like the new microphone that I have. The only problem is that it has a special kind of it has a USB-C plug in the bottom, and it also has a plug in the bottom for the headphones. And what I found out is that you need a not specially made, but you need a specific kind of God dang it. What am I thinking of? You need a special kind of cradle for the thing itself, because you can't use the standard, you know, single cord comes out the bottom of the microphone. You can't use that because I have two separate things on the bottom of mine. So I need to get a special, you know, anti-bounce kind of, why do I keep saying cradle? I just can't think of the word. You know what I'm talking about. It's not the arm for the microphone. Wow, Little Billy. I forgot Little Billy. Little Billy, I believe, shows up in person. Not in person. He's just a cardboard cutout. But the cardboard cutout, I know, shows up for the top 20 advanced tips. I didn't have time to animate his mouth at that point. Nowadays, I animate his mouth every time. But this was back in the time when I had the idea of Little Billy. I don't know if I called him Little Billy at this point. I don't believe so. That's basically just the idea of, you know, any 12-year-old that is watching my video and says like, well, Stryker, why are you doing this? But it's like I do it in the voice of like a 12-year-old. I am not trying to make fun of 12-year-olds. Overall, there was a time in my life when I thought the absolute worst person in the world was, you know, a 12-year-old. And it's like, well, you know, at some point I was 12. You know, at some point, every time you said the word poop or duty, you would laugh uncontrollably because it was so funny. Or you would try to fart on your friends all the time, or you would try to fart on other people that you knew. Because, you know, that's what you do when you're like in the 5th grade or something, right? And I always thought that, you know, like being 12 is the worst, but it's like there comes a certain point when it's like, you know what? I really want to make content that actually appeals to that kind of crowd. I actually want them to watch my stuff. So if I'm constantly berating them, that's not going to look good. You know, so I've really tried to soften my stance, because ultimately when you're on YouTube, You know, you want everybody to watch your content. You don't want any single group to feel excluded because of your views. You want anyone to be able to just, you know, pick up and watch your video, per se. Not per se. There's that word again. Fucking per se.
There's a chance that they will yell and that somebody nearby
so
I accidentally did right here. Yeah, that's not good.
this is a lot of fun. It's going to take me some time to make that other video. The top 10, 25 pro tips.
Be sure to knock them out.
You know, I got to go through, but you know, I really do like this. I like this video. It came across very well.
The R1 button, I think, on PlayStation.
And I kind of wish YouTube would, you know, display this one more. You know, 200-some thousand, that's not bad.
It works really well.
But I really am proud of this one. I really got down to the nitty-gritty. Honest reaction coming up. Don't believe that. I've played the game for like 250-some hours at this point. This is not new to me.
That might have been the coolest thing I've ever seen. Can we see it again?
I mean, literally, you have to activate the dog to do this. It's not like it just happens in the background. Oh my. I mean, he is a freaking genius. I got to admit, just the whole idea that the dog, you know, slits the throat of the guy and then backflips off of him. I mean, that's really entertaining, right? You know, you sometimes wonder, you know, like what exactly, you know, some of these big time, you know, game developers, like what exactly comes from their mind or what comes from, you know, the people that they work with. And sometimes you just don't know, you know, unless someone specifically says. It's kind of like, you know, Miyamoto and Mario. It's like, well, does Miyamoto, I mean, you know, you would think someone like Miyamoto would basically take, what do you call it? He would take criticism from everyone and he would take ideas, you know, from his entire team. And that's how some film directors work too. Like they literally will take ideas from anybody. If it's a good idea, they might put it in the movie. It's not necessarily that, you know, that they're a 100% genius with a IQ of like 160. You know, it's like sometimes some of the best directors, you know, film or game, are just people that listen to their team and try to implement stuff that, you know, that is good ideas. I talked about no.
Here we go. This is the big one. Stryker, aren't you gonna say that's what she said? No, we don't even have time for that. This is
I didn't even
materials on Mission 21, the war economy.
you know, the little Billy voice, obviously I never would have been able to do anything in Upload Studio, but obviously once I went into Premiere Pro, you know, that's when I could actually add a picture of a little kid that I referred to, you know, little Billy. And honestly, I've actually gone back to little Billy, you know, the original image of him, and I kind of made him a little bit bigger. I made his sweater longer. I did it more in high res. I think did I redo his mouth? I can't remember. But I made like a little Billy 3.0, I believe, because I already did 2.0. I think the first version of Little Billy shows up in the top 20 advanced tips. You know, it's actually a small image, but I basically made the image longer. Oh, the eyeballs. That's right. That's the 3.0 version of Little Billy. I actually cut out his eyeballs so I could, you know, theoretically animate his eyeballs as well as his mouth. So that's what I was thinking. I actually cut holes in his head, and I can't remember how I have the eyeballs. I might have had to, but that's, you know, you haven't seen that yet. I haven't worked on that because I haven't had Little Billy in a while. But that was it. I really wanted to have Little Billy be able to look at it, you know, actually look at stuff on screen, you know, because otherwise he's always looking directly basically at the viewer, right? Because that's how the original picture is. And no, you know, regardless of what you have heard out there, Little Billy is not my kid. He is, if you put in, when you're looking, what was it, Google? When you search Google for angry little kid, angry little boy, I believe he is one of the first images that show up. So it's just That's just what it is. But no, it is. Little Billy is not my own kid. No, he's not. He's not my son. I think someone has thought that it's like, oh, it's got to be your kid. You told him to make an angry face and you put him in the videos. It's like, no. I really wanted it to be I wanted to try to find a cartoon version of Little Billy, but I was looking through, literally like hundreds of images of little boys, all the free images that I could find anyway. And I couldn't find anything that had that perfect, blend. A lot of it, when you're trying to look for, angry boy, is that their mouth is open and they're screaming. And it's like, well, I can't animate a mouth if, they're actively already screaming at you. So that doesn't work. But I do try to want to get away from using the live action version of Little Billy. So maybe if I get, maybe if I get big enough to where I can have, some other content creators say like, hey, let me do a drawing of Little Billy, give me an idea what you want. I won't charge you much for it, or I'll charge you like half the rate or something. Cause I could probably look on Fiverr or something and find, sorry, I might be moving the microphone around a little bit, but you could find someone on Fiverr quite easily. And, you could probably pay them, anywhere from $300 to $800, for them to make a Little Billy in, several different poses, in like cartoon form. And you could do that, but it's like, well, that's going to be more money than I have spent on anything else, or actually everything combined that I have spent so far, on my website, just to have a little, to have a simple 1 or 2 images of a little boy. And, that might not be, I could spend my better, I could spend my money in better places than that, quite honestly. But yeah, at this point, I was starting to add, sorry about that. I'm just not drinking enough, apparently. I don't know. I'm not happy with C4 energy drink. I don't know why. I saw the word like Starburst, strawberry flavored, and I thought, oh, that's gonna be the ticket. And then I thought, oh, Skittles for an energy drink, for a flavor, like that's gonna be awesome. And no, it's not. Be sure to take out the lights. There's nothing you can do about the helicopter. It will seem like it's actually hovering around where the player is. Yeah. Usually when Stryker takes a drink, and I'm like, damn, that's good. You might notice when I take a drink of this, I'm like, ugh. That's basically because I am shocked by how much I don't like it. That's me like, that's it. That's all I get. Dear Lord. Granted, I've had this same can now. I actually have a little can, not a can Cody, a can cubby. It's a little neoprene holder for the can. I actually looked up, having I've been using this and it actually works pretty well. It's just like a little neoprene cover, for your metal can. And I was looking up some of them like on Amazon, and like for some of those they want like $15. Some of them are like $20. Some are like nearly $30 just to keep your aluminum cans cold. Some are made for the 12-ounce cans, the smaller ones. Some are made for the slightly longer neck, ones, of course. But yeah, they're kind of expensive. Like I just wanted something, like $7 or $8, US dollars. And I think I actually looked at one, but I guess they charge some money, but maybe they keep your can really cold. Is this where I mentioned the tank?
That's how you exit out. Please try to keep in mind that there is no 100% right.
Yeah, because Mission 21 is the last time you can use the tank, or drop the tank in front of you and pick it up. It doesn't work on Mission 30. It doesn't work on 12.
I basically, did it the most streamlined.
Oh yeah, the audio issue. I think I've talked about it before, but many have commented on the loud background music. Well, they've commented on the loud background music on this video in general, but I think it's basically that one specific point. I've talked about it before. It's during the intro music, right? You know, it gets loud at one specific point that's, you know, almost makes your ears bleed. And I originally did hear about that because I think I posted this and then I made a correction to it. But I mean, I heard it. I heard that it was too loud, so I corrected it on the audio levels, or I did it in a certain way. But then I made another change in the effects tab on Premiere Pro that unfortunately seemed to break the changes that I had done to it. I think it was because I ended up altering like the same thing, and I did it in a way that I don't do it anymore. You know, now I actually isolate the part of the audio that I want to change. Like I will actually make a cut, you know, before and after the section I want to change, and then I will actually change the sliders for the audio itself. I believe I was doing this inside the effects tab. So it wasn't reliable because like it didn't save it. So I did actually go in and I really did I did notice that the audio was too loud at one point. And I made some other changes, and ultimately, you know, that change got undone. And before I knew it, like, you know, my video had like 5,000 views. And then before I knew it, it had like 8,000 views. And it was like, well, it's, you know, by the time I realized it too, because I thought I had done what I was supposed to do. I thought the audio was better. But then other people started to mention that it was kind of loud in one spot. And you know, it was starting to get picked up by YouTube. It was starting to get views, and the last thing I wanted to do was to delete it and re-upload it because I thought, you know, I need to make a little nerd voice. You know, some nerdy guy from like Revenge of the Nerds. Wow, that's an old movie. They had him on TV, so I watched him one time. But yeah, so I tried to change that audio. I tried to change the audio, or now I make any audio changes directly on the timeline itself. And ever since I started to do that, I've never had any kind of issues. This is a lie. I believe you have to do 5 missions. I don't know why I say 3. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, it should be 5. Sorry about that. I mean, seriously, you got to realize that, like, I am constantly trying to, you know, check and recheck, and like literally every word that gets shown on the screen, I am like double checking that I spelled it right, and I'm looking at it again to make sure I spell it right. This, you know, what did I talk about? I added a minute to the overall foot. Yeah, I was explaining more about the reduced container amounts. I had to do that. I did take out a number of my ums and ahs. I try to really watch that. I try to watch that because if I don't, all of a sudden I do a whole lot of them. What am I looking for? The humor in this video is way different than it is for the top 20 advanced tips. In my top 20 beginner tips, my humor is actually, it's more ancillary than anything else. And what I mean by that is it's secondary. Like, I honestly did not write out, like, sketches like I did for the next video. I didn't write out things purposely to be funny. Like the dog hitting the tree. Like, that was in the editing process. Most of the humor that you see is in the editing process. It's me punching a donkey, thinking it's kind of funny, and then like, I'll figure out a way to use it later. You know, I label the video, you know, snake punching donkey or just punching donkey, and I put it in with all my other clips of, you know, either funny or humorous things. You know, the dog I probably labeled as dog hits tree repeatedly or something like that. And, you know, then I added that in later. So, like, I never planned on the dog hitting a tree. It just happened to be in the footage. You know, along with a few other things. Like the whole, you know, cool guys don't look at explosions. I didn't plan that. It just happened to be in the footage. And I realized that at the last second, you know, Snake actually looks at the explosion. Sorry, I don't know why my throat is getting so dry. Do I need grapefruit juice? I think I need some grapefruit juice. Hang on. Like this thing too, I think this came in the editing process. I don't think I originally planned this. So yeah, like all my humor is basically added after the fact. But when it came to the top 20 advanced tips, you know, then I was like actually scripting out things. You know, the whole Mr. Meeseeks, I had to type out every word that I was going to say. But and for the most part, like all the words that you see here are actually scripted, aside from the farming runs themselves. But like this, I don't think I didn't script this part either. I just kind of, you know, rolled with it. How to get wood in Minecraft. I'm pretty sure I didn't write down those words. I didn't type them out. You know, sometimes you just do that. You take several takes and then, you know, you pick the one that you think is the funniest. So yeah, like that's the difference in the humor. I put little things of humor in there, but it really wasn't until the top 20 advanced tips that I actually specifically, you know, scripted humorous things to happen in there, along with the, obviously the best thing I probably have ever done is the Stryker of Enyo radio pack, you know, where I basically play the voice of Ocelot. You know, like, you know, Snake, that's a zebra. You know, the black and white stripes is a dead giveaway. And I still, you know, to this day, even say it exactly like the way I originally did. And you might be thinking, why the pink mother base? Why use cheetah print camo or run around shirtless? Was it really so that people wouldn't steal your footage? No, it was basically to add a little bit of variety. You know, so I wasn't wearing the same outfit every single time. But it was also to help me know which console footage that I was looking at. You know, my Xbox profile, I used Naked Girl. So while on PlayStation 4, I used Battle Chick. So that would kind of tell me what the footage is, even though the footage would be labeled. But if I saw it, I would instantly know, you know, which one was which. But no, it was mostly to add a bit of variety. I mean, hey there, it's Stryker from the future. Yeah, I know. I show up every once in a while when I perhaps say too much, or I put a video on the back burner for a little too long and I need to kind of reiterate what the heck I'm doing. So I, of course, recorded these 2 Metal Gear Solid audio commentaries, the first, you know, top 10 beginner and advanced tips, and then this top 20 beginner tips. I recorded these in the summer, like around June or July of 2022. And guess what? It is now, we're starting to approach the summer of 2023. I hadn't released them yet, so I want to say I'm sorry about that. I had planned on releasing these around Christmas time, but I think other stuff came up. I ended up making a different video, and, you know, like that ended up taking me a couple months worth of work. I knew I had my other big project about the Xbox Live Arcade games, and I just didn't get to it. And so, like I said, I'm really sorry, but I did record these, and now I am basically redoing this last little recap in order to kind of catch you guys up. But yeah, I still ended up recording this thing like 3 times, the audio commentaries for both. So I put the time in, I just didn't go through and edit them yet. But I also ended up kind of maybe putting my foot in my mouth a little bit when it came to talking about the supposed release of a top 20 pro tips for Metal Gear Solid 5. Now, hang on. You know, before you start high-fiving all the stuffed animals in your room, I mean, just know that this is going to be a ways off still. I mean, I technically have made a folder, you know, called the top 20 the top 20 pro tips for Metal Gear Solid 5, but I haven't really touched it in about a year because I've been working on a few other things. But I mean, if you like, okay, let's just, you know, go ahead and, you know, I'll make the official announcement, yes, I'm going to make and release a pro tips video. So go ahead, high five all your little animals. There you go. There you go. Throw your hands up in the air, wave them around. There you go. Nobody cares. I mean, I care. I mean, of course you care if you're actually doing that. I'd like to think that somebody actually is high-fiving at least one of their stuffed animals because they happen to be in the room. But yes, everything I just said is true. But yes, that's both true. I have made a folder, and I did start to dig into some videos to kind of get ideas for pro stuff. But I haven't touched it in about a year because ultimately I have I'm currently working on my big project again, which is, a review or at least a look. It's not officially a reviews, but it is a series of videos that's going to be about Xbox Live Arcade games on the Xbox 360. And this is going to be a multi-part video series. They're going to be like at least an hour long each. And like I said, it's going to be several. And this is not the kind of thing where I release one video and then, the very next video that I release is going to be part 2. And then you're going to get part 3 right after that. It's like, no. There's going to be some time in between while I am, getting video footage and playing the second batch of games and doing all that kind of stuff. Because honestly, the sheer number of games that I'm going to be taking a look at or reviewing or whatever you want to call it for this particular topic for the Xbox Live Arcade games, I don't have enough space on a hard drive to hold all of the footage that I need to capture for the entire series. So I'm going to basically focus on, like this number of games first. And then I'm going to, I'll record footage and maybe play some of the other games that are further down the list. Probably some of you have noticed that I've been playing a bit of Doom, multiple versions of Doom 1 and 2 on Xbox One. And also, what else can I actually say? Duke Nukem. I've played some Duke Nukem, and I think that's some of the stuff that I've played that I will actually comment on. So, yes, I am doing that, but yes, I need to focus on one part at a time because trying to record footage for all these different games and put them all together and have, just 70, 80, 120 gigs of footage, just sitting there and waiting for me to make a video on, it's not going to work. So I am going to focus it on parts, but in between some of these parts, I am planning on doing something with Metal Gear Solid. It would be nice to return back to that because, quite honestly, as much as I have said in the past before about I am done with Metal Gear Solid videos, Metal Gear Solid 5 videos, I should say, and the fact that I don't like making the tip videos as much, it doesn't give me as much freedom. I also I'm not an idiot. I mean, most of the views that I am getting every month are coming from people that are checking out my tip videos. That's what YouTube is showing them, like it or not. I really enjoy more making the Rage Quit videos that I do and the other little videos that I find more humorous, that lets me be a whole lot more creative than doing a tip video. But those videos are only getting about maybe 400 views or 600 views. And, I like doing the YouTube thing. I am actually making money, but I'm making money on videos from the past. Those are the ones that are generating the thousands and thousands of views that actually make me money. Trust me, you don't make really any money off of a video that is only getting 600 views, or even just a straight up 1,000. And like I've done videos in the past also where I am basically the top 20 advanced tips for Metal Gear Solid. I mean, that had 7 different pieces of music claimed in it. So I made that video for you guys to love and enjoy. And I knew I was never going to make any money off of it. I knew I was never going to be able to run ads because of all the copyrighted music. But I will say that the Pro Tips video is going to be one that is not going to have any licensed music, I am sad to say, or it's going to be stuff that is at least not going to get picked up, from the YouTube algorithm or YouTube in general, the whole copyright thing. So it might be instrumental or whatever you want to call it. It might be, like 8-bit renditions of famous songs. I think sometimes you can get away with that. But yeah, so that's going to be the stipulation. It's going to be something that I can actually get paid on. I haven't done any scripting, of course, on it. I've just kind of looked into it briefly. I kind of do want to get this one big project done and out of the way. So hopefully you guys are understanding. I'm going to try to get this XBLA thing, done and out the door. Then I have, do I mention this? I mentioned this in another audio commentary that I have the one series that I have still planned is this Xbox Live Arcade one. But there is another series that is completely new that's going to involve canceled games that I would like to at least put out one episode in just to kind of get the ball rolling and see if that's something that you guys like more. Something that I can put together that's a little bit quicker, that, where I can basically write, a script for something and be creative and bring in, other stuff and not have to worry too much. The main thing I'm getting at is that, the tip videos that I normally would do, there's a huge percentage of those tip videos where like I have to do things in a certain order, or I have to convey to you exactly how to do them, or this is how it needs to be done, and you can't do this, and you got to go into free roam, and you got to make sure to bring along these weapons. Like all of that is stuff that it's kind of scripted to some degree. So it's like I don't get to really add a whole lot of creativity to those types of videos. I mean, obviously the Stryker radio pack, that is probably going to return. But like I said, I don't have anything planned for it. So I really don't want to. The whole reason I'm re-recording this is because I made it seem like, hey, in a couple of months, I might start, working on that. And I never got that done, not by a long shot. I got busy with other stuff, and I'm pretty sure I knew about the Xbox Live Arcade thing that I was working on even then. And that's the big thing I'm working on right now. But yeah, so that's what's coming. I appreciate all the views and stuff. So yes, I will make another Metal Gear Solid Pro Tip video. But like I said, it is in such the earliest of stages that I'm only looking at, I'm only writing down like the top, 10 or top 20 ideas, at least right now, that would end up going into a video. So I haven't done any scripting on what it's going to look like. But like I said, I'm probably going to get one of these Xbox Live Arcade videos done and out the door. That's going to be like an hour-long video. And I probably will get this other series with canceled games. Now, with canceled games, there's only so much footage, of course. So, we're talking about there might be some games where there's not a whole lot of history to it. So episodes are going to be like maybe 6 or 12 minutes long. So like it's going to be shorter form. So, don't think that everything I do is like a 30 to 40 minute video and this big whole thing. It's like, no, with canceled games, there really is only so much history that we can kind of, cull from interviews and whatnot, unless you can actually get in contact with some of these people and find out, hey, why was this game canceled? So I would like to get out a little episode of that maybe, but yeah, so I am working on the Metal Gear Solid stuff. I mean, that, like I said, it's in the background, and I'm going to end up doing it because, I mean, I have to. That's the stuff that is making me money on YouTube. I mean, seriously, there is a good little percentage of the money that I earn every month is from Metal Gear Solid videos. So please don't think that I don't know that or I don't realize it. I know exactly how many dollars, per video. And one of them is this one that you're looking at the audio commentary right now. So like I said, thank you so much for all of your interest in all of this. And yeah, I'm going to give a little bit more, and hopefully some of my other stuff can take off so that I don't have to be making tip videos for the rest of my life. but that's what you guys like, so I'm going to try to do what I can. But hey, thank you so much for watching. Sorry I went a little bit longer on this, but I wanted to, you know, hold back your expectations about the fact that, oh my God, he said he's making this thing, it's going to be ready, you know, before Christmas. And it's like, no, I got this other project, working on that. I'm going to get that done and out. So, but like I said, you know, if you're checking the community tab on my YouTube channel, like I've mentioned in a couple of videos, that's the place where you are going to first find out about whether or not this thing is starting to get close to coming out. Because this is the thing that I'm going to let you know that it's coming out. I'm not going to all of a sudden spring upon you. That's kind of what I did for the top 20 advanced tips, isn't it? I think I just kind of all of a sudden like, hey, I made a little 1-minute trailer. And then I'm like, hey, it's going to come out in, was it a week or 2 weeks from that date? It was something like that. But no, you will see some updates about this and how it's going. And, you know, like kind of an idea of when I'm going to start editing and putting things together for that. But it's going to be after this Xbox Live Arcade video thing comes out. And so, hey, just wanted to let you know. Thank you so much. And we will see you guys on the next audio commentary.